The Iraqi dinar is once again drawing attention, not because of dramatic price swings or sudden announcements, but because of something far more important: quiet, calculated change. While headlines may appear calm on the surface, meaningful developments are unfolding beneath the radar, shaping the direction of Iraq's financial future. Today's dinar story is not driven by hype or speculation, but by structure, discipline, and long-term economic intent. Over recent months, financial observers have noted a pattern of stability, supported by measured policy actions, regulatory adjustments, and consistent monetary oversight. This kind of movement often goes unnoticed by those looking for dramatic spikes. Yet it is precisely this controlled environment that signals a deeper transformation. The Central Bank of Iraq continues to emphasize stability over speed, favoring sustainable growth rather than short-lived market reactions. For international viewers, especially those watching from the United States, this approach reflects a maturing financial strategy, focused on credibility rather than excitement. The current phase is less about announcements and more about alignment, aligning monetary tools, institutional oversight, and economic behavior. Iraq is reinforcing the framework that supports its currency, ensuring that the dinar functions within a stable, predictable system. This shift suggests that the country is prioritizing resilience over speculation, discipline over impulse. While some may misinterpret the lack of dramatic movement as stagnation, seasoned analysts recognize it as strategic positioning. Economic stability is often built quietly, through consistent policy enforcement and gradual confidence building. The absence of chaos is not a weakness, it is evidence of control. As global markets remain uncertain and geopolitical pressures continue to influence financial systems worldwide, Iraq's approach signals a desire for balance and sustainability. These quiet changes may not generate headlines, but they carry long-term implications that are far more significant than short-term fluctuations. Understanding this moment requires looking beyond the noise and recognizing that stability itself can be a powerful signal of progress. What makes the current phase of the Iraqi dinar especially significant is not dramatic movement, but the quiet coordination taking place beneath the surface. Economic transitions of this scale are rarely loud. They unfold through structure, alignment, and deliberate pacing. Behind the scenes, financial systems are being refined, communication channels strengthened, and long-term strategies synchronized across institutions. This process is not designed to create short-term excitement, but to establish durable confidence that can withstand external pressure. The steady rhythm of change reflects a shift from reactive decision-making toward calculated governance. In this environment, patience becomes a strategic asset. Rather than responding impulsively to global volatility, the system absorbs pressure and redistributes it in a controlled manner. This is how stability is preserved over time. The focus has moved away from chasing rapid gains and toward building mechanisms that ensure consistency and predictability. These adjustments are subtle but intentional, visible only when observing patterns over time rather than isolated moments. The evolution underway is less about movement and more about alignment, aligning institutions, policy frameworks, and economic behavior toward a shared long-term direction. This approach minimizes disruption while reinforcing trust internally and externally. As confidence grows, the system begins to regulate itself more efficiently, reducing dependency on reactive intervention. In this phase, stability becomes self-sustaining, supported by structure rather than force. Such a transformation does not announce itself loudly, yet its impact is profound. It reshapes expectations, strengthens credibility, and establishes a foundation capable of supporting future growth. The current moment reflects a controlled transition where order replaces uncertainty, and patience becomes the most valuable currency of all. As this phase of measured progress continues, the behavior of the Iraqi dinar increasingly reflects a system learning to operate with confidence rather than urgency. What stands out most is not dramatic movement, but consistency, a sign that internal mechanisms are beginning to function with greater coordination and discipline. Market participants are gradually adjusting expectations, shifting from reactive speculation to long-term observation. This change in mindset is critical, as stability is sustained not only through policy, but through trust in the system itself. Financial authorities appear focused on strengthening the framework that governs liquidity, transparency, and accountability, allowing the currency to operate within clearly defined boundaries. This approach reduces uncertainty and reinforces predictability, which are essential for sustainable economic growth. Instead of chasing rapid gains, the emphasis has moved toward reliability and control, signaling a maturation of economic management. The dinar's current behavior suggests that it is increasingly insulated from abrupt external pressures, supported by internal coordination and strategic oversight. Such an environment encourages confidence among institutions, investors, and citizens alike, reinforcing a sense of continuity rather than disruption. Over time, this consistency helps normalize economic expectations and encourages participation within formal financial channels. The gradual strengthening of institutional credibility is not always visible in short-term charts, but it plays a decisive role in shaping long-term outcomes. As trust deepens, the economy becomes more resilient, capable of absorbing fluctuations without instability. This stage represents a quiet yet powerful transition, where discipline replaces uncertainty and structure replaces speculation. The Iraqi dinar in this context becomes less a symbol of volatility and more a reflection of deliberate economic stewardship. Progress here is measured not by speed, but by sustainability, an approach that lays the groundwork for lasting confidence and future growth. As the broader economic environment evolves, the significance of stability becomes even more pronounced. In a global landscape shaped by inflationary pressures, shifting interest rates, and geopolitical uncertainty, maintaining balance is no small achievement. Iraq's financial direction reflects an understanding that resilience is built, not through rapid expansion, but through careful calibration. The current phase emphasizes consistency over acceleration, ensuring that foundational systems remain intact as external conditions fluctuate. This approach allows the economy to absorb global pressures without transmitting instability internally. Rather than reacting to every market signal, financial leadership appears focused on preserving equilibrium and reinforcing long-term credibility. Such discipline sends a clear message. Progress does not require volatility. By maintaining steady monetary coordination, Iraq is creating space for confidence to grow organically. This environment encourages businesses, institutions, and international partners to operate with greater assurance, knowing that sudden disruptions are less likely. The emphasis on structure over speed signals maturity in economic governance. Instead of chasing short-term momentum, policymakers are prioritizing continuity and institutional strength. This measured strategy enables adaptation without disruption and progress without excess. Over time, this consistency builds resilience, the kind that supports sustainable development rather than temporary gains. As systems stabilize, the economy gains the flexibility to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. The broader implication is clear. Stability itself becomes a strategic asset. Through deliberate pacing and disciplined oversight, the foundations of long-term growth are being reinforced. This stage of development may appear subtle, but it represents a powerful shift toward durability, credibility, and enduring economic confidence. As this phase of economic refinement continues, the broader message surrounding the Iraqi dinar becomes increasingly clear. Stability is no longer a temporary objective, but a strategic foundation. The gradual alignment of policy structure and market behavior signals a transition toward maturity rather than momentum-driven growth. This approach reflects an understanding that true economic strength is built through consistency, trust, and institutional reliability. By prioritizing long-term balance over short-term reaction, Iraq is positioning its financial system to withstand external pressures while fostering internal confidence. The steady rhythm now shaping the dinar's movement suggests a system learning to operate with discipline and foresight. Rather than responding impulsively to market noise, decision-makers are reinforcing frameworks that support sustainability and predictability. This creates an environment where confidence grows organically, where businesses, investors, and citizens can plan with greater certainty. Over time, such stability encourages deeper participation and strengthens the overall economic fabric. The evolution underway is not about dramatic shifts or headline-driven momentum, but about constructing a resilient foundation capable of supporting future opportunity. In this sense, progress becomes quieter but more meaningful. The dinar's journey reflects a broader commitment to structural integrity, signaling that long-term credibility now outweighs short-term excitement. As these foundations solidify, the economy gains the flexibility to adapt without losing balance. This moment represents not an endpoint, but a turning point where patience, discipline, and vision converge to shape a more durable financial future. The strength of this approach lies in its restraint, proving that true progress often unfolds not in sudden leaps, but through steady, intentional movement forward. As the narrative surrounding the Iraqi dinar continues to evolve, one truth becomes increasingly evident. Meaningful progress often unfolds quietly, rather than dramatic shifts or sudden announcements. The current phase reflects disciplined execution and long-term vision. This stage is defined by thoughtful alignment between policy, institutions, and economic behavior, where stability itself becomes the signal of progress. The absence of volatility is not a lack of movement, but evidence of a system learning to operate with confidence and control. In an era where global markets are shaped by uncertainty, such steadiness carries significant weight. Iraq's approach demonstrates an understanding that sustainable growth requires patience, consistency, and a commitment to structural integrity. Each measured decision contributes to a broader foundation that supports resilience, rather than speculation. As trust deepens within financial channels, participation strengthens and expectations begin to stabilize. This creates a reinforcing cycle where confidence fuels stability, and stability nurtures long-term opportunity. The journey ahead is not defined by rapid transformation, but by deliberate refinement. In this sense, progress is no longer reactive, it is intentional. The Iraqi dinar's current trajectory reflects a system aligning itself with enduring principles rather than short-term outcomes. As this evolution continues, it positions the economy to navigate future challenges with greater assurance and adaptability. Ultimately, the story being written is one of balance, patience, and purposeful advancement. It is a reminder that lasting economic strength is not built in moments of excitement, but through steady commitment to sound foundations and forward-thinking strategy. This final phase marks not an end, but a continuation toward a more resilient and confident economic future.